Hi, this is Ridea Keeping It Real, and we are reading through the Bible using the Good News Bible. We're still on the Apocrypha books, and we are up to Susanna. I have never read Susanna. I've never even heard of Susanna. I don't know what this book is about. So let's see. The Book of Susanna. The Book of Susanna is a story that was added to the Book of Daniel, eventually when the latter was translated into Greek. The book tells how the beautiful and virtuous Susanna, falsely charged with adultery, is cleared by the wisdom and courage of Daniel. The outline of the chapters is two wicked judges attempt to seduce Susanna. Susanna is condemned to death. Daniel rescues Susanna, and the judges are condemned to death. Okay. Susanna's beauty attracts two judges. In Babylon, there lived a man named Jehoiakim, who was married to Susanna, daughter of Hilkiah. Susanna was a beautiful woman and deeply religious. Her parents were devout Jews and had brought up their daughter to live according to the law of Moses. Her husband, Joachim, was very wealthy. Lovely gardens surrounded his house, and the Jews often gathered there for meetings because they all thought so highly of him. Everyone who had a legal case to present would also go to Joachim's house, where two judges held court. These two leaders of the Israelite community had recently been appointed to the office. They were the ones about whom the Lord said, "There's wickedness in Babylon. Judges are failing to give guidance to people." Every day at noon, when all the people left for lunch, Susanna used to take a walk in the gardens. The two judges were so attracted to her that they would wait around. They would wait around and watch her. They became so obsessed with their desire for her that they lost interest both in prayer and in their responsibility as judges. They each wanted Susanna, but neither told the other how he felt, for each was ashamed to admit his lust. So day after day, they watched eagerly to catch sight of her. One day at noon, they said to each other, "It's time for lunch. Let's go home." So they both left and went their separate ways. But soon each one came back for a look at Susanna, and by accident they met each other. At first each tried to explain what he was doing there, but finally they both confessed their desire for Susanna. They decided to watch for a time when they might find her alone. So they kept waiting for the right opportunity. The judges tried to seduce Susanna. One day Susanna went into the garden as usual with her two servant girls. No one else was there except the two judges who had hidden themselves and were watching Susanna. It was very hot and she decided to take a bath. So she said to her servants, "Bring me some bath oil and some perfume and lock the gate so that I won't be disturbed." The servants locked the main gates and went out by the side door to get Susanna what Susanna had asked for. They did not notice the two men. As soon as the servants had left, the two judges jumped out from their hiding place, ran to Susanna, and said to her, "The gates are locked and no one will see us. We are burning to have sex with you." "Wow. So give us what we want. If you don't, we will go to the court and swear that we saw you send your servants away so that you could be alone with a young man." "There's no way out," Susanna moaned. "If I give in to you, I could be put to death for adultery. If I refuse you, you will still have me trapped. But I would rather be your innocent victim than sin against the Most High." So she started screaming as loud as she could, and the two judges began shouting accusations while one of them ran and unlocked the gates. As soon as the servants in the house heard all the noise, they ran into the gardens through the side door and found out what had happened to Susanna. The judges told their story, and the servants were shocked and ashamed. Such a thing had never before been said about Susanna. The judges testify against Susanna. The next day, when the people assembled at Jehoiakim's house, 2 judges arrived, fully determined to carry out their wicked plan to have Susanna put to death. In front of all the people, they said, "Send for Jehoiakim's wife, Susanna, the daughter of Hilkiah." When she was called, she came in with her parents, her children, and all her other relatives. Susanna was so graceful and beautiful that the 2 wicked men ordered her veil to be removed so that they might enjoy looking at her. Her family and everyone else were in tears. Then the 2 judges stood up in front of the people, placed their hands on Susanna's head, and began making their accusations against her. She was crying, but she looked up to heaven because she trusted the Most High. The 2 men gave the following testimony. "We were walking in the gardens when this woman came in with her 2 servant girls. She locked the main gate and asked the servants to leave. Then a young man who had been hiding in the gardens came to her, and they lay down together. We were in the corner of the garden, and when we saw what was happening, we ran over and caught them in the eye. We tried to hold on to the man, but he was too strong for us. He ran and opened the gates and got away, but we were able to hold the woman. We asked her who the man was, but she refused to tell us. We swear that our testimony is true because the 2 men were not only leaders in the community, but were also judges. The people believed their story and condemned Susanna to death." Daniel rescues Susanna. When Susanna cried out in a loud voice, "Eternal God, nothing can be kept secret from you. You know everything before it happens." "Here I am, about to die, but you know that I'm innocent, that these men are lying. Why must I die?" The Most High heard her prayer and led a young man named Daniel to speak out. Just as Susanna was being taken away to her death, he shouted, "I refuse to be a party to her death." Everyone turned around to look at him and asked, "What are you talking about?" Daniel stood up before them and said, "People of Israel, how foolish can you be? Are you going to condemn an Israelite woman to death on this kind of evidence? You haven't even tried to find out the truth. Reopen the case. The testimony these men gave was a lie." So all the people hurried back to where the trial had been taken, and the official said to Daniel, "God has given you wisdom beyond your years, so come and join us and explain to us what you mean." Daniel said to them, "Separate the 2 judges and let me question them one at a time." Then Daniel called the first judge and said, "You wicked old man, now you will have to answer for all the sins you have committed. You have been given unjust sentences. You have condemned the innocent and released the guilty, even though the Most High has said, 'Do not put an innocent man to death.' Now, if you really did see this couple making love, tell me, what tree were they under?" "Under the small gum tree," he answered. Daniel said, "All right, that lie will cost you your life. The Most High's angels has already been given orders to chop you in two." Okay, me gonna hit a chop. Chop. The word in Greek sounds like the Greek word for a small gum tree. Cut. The word in Greek sounds like Greek for large oak tree. Okay. Then the 2 judges was led away. Then the first judge was led away, and the second one was brought before Daniel. "You are more like a Canaanite than a Jew," Daniel said to him. "This woman's beauty has warped your judgment, and lust has corrupted your thinking. You are used to having your way with the women of Israel because they have been afraid of you. But here is an Israelite woman, and she would not give in. Now tell me what tree you saw them under." "Under the large oak tree," he answered. Daniel said, "All right, that lie will cost you your life." The Most High's angel is waiting with the sword in his hand, ready to cut you in two. Then we shall be rid of you both. Then all the people shouted and praised the Most High, who saves those who put their trust in him. They turned against the two judges because Daniel had proven that they had lied under oath. The law of Moses states that people who give false testimony shall receive the same punishment that the accused person would have received. Wow, okay. And so the two judges were put to death, and the life of an innocent woman was saved. Susanna's parents, her husband, and all her relatives praised the Most High because she had been proven innocent of the charges. From that day on, Daniel was held in high regards. Wow, that was great. That was really, really great. To see, basically. Okay, so that's Susanna. That's the two judges. That's the beautiful garden. I'm probably not going to color all of this on camera. It's a pretty picture. But, as I was reading that, it reminded me of working in the police department, right? And, some great, 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 mostly guys worked there. And most of them were honorable. Some of them were not, right? But at the end of the day, it was during the time, it was right before George Floyd. Right before that, they were considered in high regard. They couldn't do no wrong. After that, they were not so much, right? Whatever they said went. Like they could get on the stand. They could lie. Oh, I don't know why I'm coloring that color. I mean, they could lie. People would believe them because they were the police. That's the way this is for the judge, right? Honorable, upstanding. We're going to believe anything you say, even though you're lying through your teeth and you're taught how to lie. But what happened? The wisdom that Daniel had superseded all of that. What did he do? He said, okay, you saw her under the tree with a guy? What tree? Before you guys can get your lie together. Kind of where we are right now with the lady that died in Minnesota, right? That's kind of where we are. Even though we have cameras now, which is good. So everybody can see what happened. But even with that, just as we can see, they can still come up with their narrative of what they want you to see. Right? We saw January 6th. But no, that's not what you saw. You saw that, but that was real peaceful. What are you talking about? And, just throwing a little wrench in there. Yeah, I tell you. It's craziness. I'm just glad that people in America, everybody in America, not just so-called black people, we've always known what America was, but everybody now can see what America is. And they're like shocked. Oh my God, we can't believe it. We're looking like, yeah, okay. Welcome to our world. Right? But it said in here where it said the innocent people, you can't do that to innocent people. Do not put an innocent person to death. You really see this. Yeah, you can't do that. But people were doing it for many years. Many, many, many people were falsely accused, right? Many, many, many people. Wrong color there. This is an interesting story. It's actually a good story. Where she stood her ground. She could have given in, right? A lot of people have done that. Given in to authority. They shouldn't have. Because they were afraid of what could happen. Because that person in authority was going to say, well, we're going to tell lies on you. People experience that on the job. People wanting to, sexual harassment. The real sexual harassment. I mean, not what I consider like the fake stuff. where, the woman's trying to get something out the deal and it doesn't quite work out. And oh my God, he was just using me. Well, you know what? Why were you there? Honestly. Just because it didn't work out, now it's a problem? What were you there for? You were trying to get over. For real, that's how I feel about that. You were trying to get over, it didn't work out, and now you're going to cry and complain about it. Okay. I mean, yes, he was wrong, but you shouldn't have been there. Like, I'm going to get over, I'm going to be a star, I'm going to whatever. Okay. I mean, I'm sure people are not going to like that opinion, but it's mine. I can have it. This is interesting. I mean, I always think about the person who drew it. Like, I mean, it's a lot of little detail here to this drawing, this picture. There's a lot of little detail that doesn't have to be here. So they took their time with it, right? I mean, it looks like they did. I like it. But yeah, we can see today how this relates. And hopefully we do have honest people, smart people, wise people like Daniel who can cut through the nonsense, right? Needs to be some yellow somewhere here. You can cut through this nonsense, make it make sense. But that was a good book. That was great. Susanna. I mean, she stood her ground. She knew the word. She was willing to trust the Most High. That was a great book. Until next time, it's Ridea keeping it real.